taking an angle grinder and grinding off your whole frame. It's the worst part of the job. And we just got to a point to where our cost in prepping the frames, we either had to figure something else out or we couldn't continue. And this is the one that we run nonstop. We abuse the hell out of it. We do all of our testing. We make sure everything's going to be lasting a long time on the machine. This is where we get the abuse done to make sure that when we deliver you a screen frame grinder, you're going to get a long-lasting product, you're going to get a durable product, and you're going to get a consistent product.
It's so satisfying to watch it get clean.
It is satisfying. If you're set up, you get your screen set up here and you're pumping through them, we've done 100 in an hour.
Wow. Hey guys, we're in Phoenix, Arizona with Mike at ScreenFrameGrinder.com. How's it going, Mike?
It's going well. It's going well.
Mike, one of the things I learned early in business is you see a need, fill a need. Identify a problem and find a way to solve it.
100%.
At Screen Frame Grinder, essentially you guys had to solve your own problem.
Correct, yes. So the whole idea of that actually was to solve our own problem, like you said. We've been doing it for years, and the cost of labor and the inconsistencies of hand grinding.
Hand grinder, and this thing's heavy.
And is this the only way to do it in the industry? They have sandblasting, there's other ways of doing it, but the most practical way for shops to do it for the longest time is an angle grinder.
Yep.
And I'm sure that I could save the explanation on that. It's no fun. Taking an angle grinder and grinding off your whole frame, it's the worst part of the job. And we just got to a point to where our cost in prepping the frames, we either had to figure something else out or we couldn't continue.
Well, and to just back it up a little bit, when you stretch your screen,
yes,
that's already been used, we need to get it clean.
Correct.
So we remove all that mesh, remove all that ink, but it's called a static stretch and glue frame for a reason. You stretch the mesh across, you glue it.
Correct.
And when I got to use it again, I got to get rid of that glue.
Yes.
And we need a nice, clean surface.
Actually, this is what I wanted to show you too. So this is a hand grind. I wanted to show the difference. So we took the angle grinder to see what kind of grind you get out of it. And yes, it's cleaning the surface. It gets the job done. But it's a pain. It's not the best way to do it now. So,
but it's so necessary. I mean, and one way or the other, you have to get the glue off and ideally get some pores.
You need some sort of texture on there.
Yep.
Yes, you can't be smooth. It's like trying to paint onto a smooth car. You're not going to get that paint to stick.
Yeah, just run.
Exactly. So, started with the hand grinder, got faced with the decision of we figured something out or we can't afford to stay in business because our labor cost of prepping screens is outrageous. This is where the idea came from. We put our pencil to paper and we thought of a conveyor system to basically grind the screens, where it still would take a person on there, but it takes, you're not beating the person up with a hand grinder, and it's a more consistent process because you're allowing the conveyor to give you consistency. And after we kind of did some more digging, we found that having a cross pattern allows us to get even better adhesion on there. So instead of having a one-way direction grind, when you have these going at opposite angles, you're going to have what's called a cross hatch.
Yep.
So you have a grind going this way and you have a grind going that way. So when you're pulling your screens and you're gluing down, you now have that direction of pull is grabbing from both sides, from both angles of the grind. So it's going to give you a better adhesion when you have a cross hatching, as opposed to taking an angle grinder. There's no real symmetry to your grinding. You try to, but there's not really a rhyme or reason. You're just getting the glue off. So the idea started here, and it worked so well for us. We were running this one for about 3 years, I want to say. We ran this one for about 3 years, became so reliant on it, and we had some discussions with other shops, and we knew some other shops would have some interest into it. And you know what? We said, let's go for it. So we came up with our drawings and came up with our first machine, this is the first build out of our drawings that we came up with. And this is the one that we run nonstop. We abuse the hell out of it. We do all of our testing. We make sure everything's going to be lasting a long time on the machine. This is where we get the abuse done to make sure that when we deliver you a screen frame grinder, you're going to get a long-lasting product, you're going to get a durable product, and you're going to get a consistent product. So when it comes to real-world use, we use it every day. There's not a day that goes by that we don't use this machine.
And again, there are large shops that go through so many screens. It makes sense for them to stretch in-house.
Absolutely.
But Screens are a logistical nightmare to ship. I mean, they're bulky and so forth.
Correct.
So most of the time, when you need screens stretched, you're kind of looking for somebody within your state.
Absolutely.
And there's also, I think, a lot of opportunities for some shops because
It bridges the gap.
it does. It does. So you may want to, like, you know what, I could start a screen frame grinding.
No, I mean, exactly. If I want to get into stretching, because that's what we hear nonstop. I want to get into stretching, but I don't want to grind screens all day long. So that's always been the factor for shops that have really kind of, I don't know if I want to get into stretching. Now when you introduce this automated or semi-automated solution for grinding screens, it takes that factor out of it and just makes the job night and day difference.
Well, I'd like to see how long it takes to grind a screen.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So, safety first, right?
Always.
All right. So, you do have a variable speed here. What this allows you to do is control your belt speed. So, depending how aggressive your glue is, you might want to slow it down a little bit so it has a little more time to work it. Or if you just want to kind of brush it through real quick, you can run it basically at full speed.
And it doesn't matter if we're on a 20 by 24, 23 by 31, really any size.
Any size. The only time you're going to make some adjustments is if you're getting different thicknesses or different profiles.
Okay.
Your standard's 1.5 inches. That's what your standard profile is going to be with your 23 by 31s, your 20 by 24s. And that could be easily adjusted, and I'll show you that in a minute. But there's pretty minimal adjustments. So, and when I'm pushing on here, you'll see I'm not doing much work. I'm just kind of putting my hand on it to guide it. Yep. And then you want to get the other side.
And they're both spinning in the same direction, right?
Correct. Yes, yes.
It's so satisfying to watch it get clean.
It is satisfying.
That is right around a minute.
All right. So, and you can decide if you want to take more glue off too. These guys have it set up to where they're kind of just brushing, but if you want to get more aggressive, it's an easy adjustment on here. A simple unlock your grinding head and you can adjust up and down. Obviously, if you go down harder, you're going to get more aggressive of a grind. So it's really up to what you're trying to achieve on there. And you can see where all that would normally be on the floor catches inside there.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, not in your lungs and.
Yep, it's not perfect, obviously, but we're not running a dust collector on here. We are going to be running it inside, so we will be running a dust collector. We have tested with the dust collector; it works great. We recommend at least 1,000 CFM on the dust collector to really achieve anything. But yeah, you can really kind of cater this to what you're trying to achieve with the screen. If you want to grind it all the way down, hit it hard. If you want to just kind of brush it, like we did here, you can play with that. Whatever works best for you on that. And like I was saying, with the different profiles, the only thing you're going to have to do is adjust your side to side, because now you have a wider profile.
Yep. Okay.
So this 7-inch disc does a pretty good job of covering. We've done up to a 2.5-inch profile, and it does pretty well on there. Your first grinder should pretty much be set up, because that's always your starting position. It's normally your second one that you're going to have to move over to accommodate for a larger profile size.
Sweet.
And that's really the only adjustments that you need on there. When it comes to changing disc, super simple. They're reverse threaded, so basically when it's spinning in a clockwise direction, it's actually tightening it. So you can just tighten it by hand and it'll stay on. It's not going to go anywhere. Easy enough to change disc.
Wow.
So pretty simple process on that.
And Mike, what is somebody looking at for a machine like this? I know it's still pretty early, but what is a screen frame grinder go for, or where can our viewers learn more about current pricing and so forth?
Yeah, so this, right now we're still running a promotion on it. We're running $27,000 for the grinder. The normal list price on it is $29,000. So we're going to be running that promotion right now until the end of May. So we are confident that this is definitely, if cost is your concern, here's the way I put it. What is the cost of having somebody back here all day long hand grinding frames? And if you've got someone full-time grinding screens, I mean, depending where you live, every bit of $30,000 a year to have someone grinding screens all day long.
For the worst job.
Exactly. So the cost of the machine is less than the cost of a person for a year.
And how many screens roughly can you do an hour?
If you're set up and you get your screen set up here and you're pumping through them, we've done 100 in an hour.
Wow. Wow. So you can really bust them out. So can we see that last version? Because
yes,
I think you did this. When did this arrive? I mean, you were talking this week. Is that correct?
The new one. So this is not the first new one though. We've got some shipped out already, but this is one that we take back and forth to the shows. This is the pretty one. Yeah. This is the one that we don't get dirty, but
when something's dirty, you know that it's being used.
It's being used.
You're making or saving money.
Yep. And our guys, they couldn't imagine going back that way. They probably would quit.
Well, it's like once you go pneumatic, I mean, you just don't go back.
You get them used to it, they just can't go back. But like I said, the cost of labor, $30,000 a year. The machine right now, especially with the promotion, we're running at $27,000. It's less than the cost of a person per year. And now where we had a guy back there all day long grinding screens, he'll basically grind his frames for the morning for a couple hours, get his frames done, and he's up here stretching.
Well, we see it all the time when we go visit shops. Most shops are automating their screen room.
Yes.
I mean, it's all about automation. Anytime we can get a piece of equipment that often simplifies the worst jobs that are so important. Again, screen printing is about screen making. And before you can make the screen, you've got to stretch it properly. And if you're going to stretch it properly, comes first to start with the grinding. I mean, it's all so important.
It all goes to the beginning. What you put in is what you're going to get out every step of the way. It all starts from even the prepping of the frame to the ink laying down on the t-shirt.
The mesh count, all of it.
All the way through, yep.
The actual mesh brand and so forth.
Every step is important.
Well, Mike, our viewers can learn more about Screen Frame Grinder from what? ScreenFrameGrinder.com?
ScreenFrameGrinder.com,
That's
yes.
about as simple as it gets, guys. So guys, check out ScreenFrameGrinder.com, learn more about this machine and why you should consider bringing it into your shop if you're stretching your own screens, or maybe you're looking into starting your own screen stretching business. You're going to want a tool just like this, and this is the only one I've ever seen on the market, Mike.
It is. Actually, we are now a patented, approved machine, so we are the only machine on the market like this, yes.
Awesome. Guys, visit ScreenFrameGrinder.com.